Hey everybody, welcome to a quick tutorial in which I'm going to show you how to find, select, control and play playlists from the VisAudio web player. I'm using the desktop here, but the principles apply to mobile and to tablet. And once you've watched this tutorial and digested it, you should have no problem at all in navigating the web player and also managing your music. So let's start off from the home page here. You can see that there are sort of three channels. The business sector channel, in this case retail, showing just a selection here of the playlists from that channel. Same goes for my favorite. So these are business sector playlists that you have favorited and added to your favorites list. And the third section or channel are the My Playlists. So when you first open the web player as a new customer, there won't be any favorites and there won't be any My Playlists because you won't have favorited anything and you won't have created any My Playlists. My Playlist being your unique customized playlist that you've created from scratch, or by taking an existing VisAudio playlist and editing it in some way. We're going to touch on that, but there is a separate tutorial on My Playlists, which I would encourage you to watch. This is just a selection of the retail playlists. If you want to change sector, by the way, you can now do that easily. This is a new web player as of the time of recording. You used to have to do this through your profile, but now on the front end, you can click on this drop down and change, in this case, from retail to dining. Again, if I go back to the home page, we've now got dining selection, we've got my favorites, and we've got my playlist. To reveal all of the dining playlists as opposed to this small selection, we can do one of two things. We can click on See All, and if we click on See All, that will simply expand and show all of the playlists in that sector on the home page. But if you look below, we've still got my favorites and we've still got my playlists. If we click on dining in the side navigation, that will give us also the complete comprehensive selection of dining playlists, but we won't have the other channels on display. As a bonus though, we do have the playlist filter. And this filter allows you to narrow down the playlist that you can see and to set some criteria that will determine which do and which playlists don't display. So for example, if I decide I just want relaxing and chill, and I only want timeless and nostalgic, and I just want instrumental, then we've narrowed down to those three playlists that meet all of those criteria. If we decided actually let's also include playlists that have got instrumental and vocal tracks, which is mixed, then clearly we're going to get more options. So we can then clear the filter and we're back to seeing all of the playlists. The other way of searching for a specific playlist, or maybe all the playlists that have pop in the title, is to use the playlist search, and that will narrow down using the name as the sort of search term. So if you pop in, it's going to show you any playlist that's got pop in the title. If you've got a particular Christmas playlist in mind, put in Christmas, and again you can, as you would expect, you can select from there. So let's go back to the total selection and let's just pick a playlist. Let's pick Mellow Pop Cafe. Click on it and it will open its page with all the tracks, which you can play individually. But more likely you're going to want to play the entire playlist, which we do by clicking on the play button next to the artwork And when you do that, it reveals this control panel at the bottom of the page. Just turn the music down a little bit. And in this panel, you can do the things that you would normally expect to do. You can pause, start again. You can skip forward if you don't like a track. Skip back if you want to hear a track again. But importantly, you've also got these two sort of playlist settings. The one on the left with the crossed arrows is the shuffle button, so that's for randomized play. And I would encourage you to use that by default, because eventually, even with our playlists that contain hundreds of tracks, if you hear them in the same order, there can be an element of repetition there, both for staff and for customers. So by default, I would always shuffle, and when you click on that icon, it will turn blue and it will remain set at that unless you change it further down the line. And so it will apply to any playlist that you play in this current session. The icon on the right with the two sort of looping arrows is continuous play, and that has three settings. It has off, in which case when you get to the end of this playlist, unless you quickly go and select a new playlist, the music is going to stop. If you click this once, it will turn blue. There's a little dot beneath it, and what that will do is it will ensure that when you get to the end of this playlist, it will just start again. So either randomly or in sequence, depending on whether you're in shuffle mode or not, it will start to play again. So you don't have those embarrassing silences when you get to the end of a playlist. Be aware that the third setting, so if I click it again, a 1 appears, and what that 1 signifies is that only the current track will repeat. In other words, this is just going to play one track over and over again. And for most businesses, in most situations, at most times, that's not going to be relevant. I can imagine in a spa, or if you've got a kind of treatments business or a salon, there may be a particular track that works for, it could be a treatment, it could be a kind of relaxation session, it could be for yoga. You want that track to just play a few times because it sets the right mood for that particular activity. So it's not useless, but it's probably something that's going to be used minimally compared to the broader playlist continually. Okay, what else? If you are playing a playlist and you want to change the playlist, you can browse or search for another playlist and the music will carry on playing. So I'm just going to put in here pop again and see what comes up. I'm going to choose another playlist. Until I click on this button and start to play the new playlist, the previous playlist is going to carry on playing. And if at any time you've navigated away from what's currently playing, although the artwork at the bottom here in the player control will give you a clue, it doesn't tell you what the playlist is, but you might recognize the artwork as to what playlist you're currently playing. The easiest way to answer that question is to click on this icon, this little music graphic equalizer icon that will always appear when the music is playing. Click on that and it will take you back to where you started or where you're currently playing, in this case Mellow Pop Cafe. The same applies. We can navigate using these arrows through the sector playlists. We can choose a new playlist. But then if we navigate away and want to go back to where we started, we click this icon and we're back on Super Chill Beats. So I think that's it. And these principles, these controls apply to favorites. At the end of the day, favorites are literally just a selection of the very same playlist. And if I click on this, It's exactly the same interface. And the same with my playlists.
Okay, let's play a game. The alphabet game.
Okay, so I think that's covered everything. And you should now be in a position to find the playlist that you need easily, to select the playlist, to play the playlist, to navigate through other playlists and search for playlists, and also to control the playback settings for that particular playlist, whether that's to shuffle it or whether that's for continuous play. Any other questions, as ever, please get in touch. But for now, thanks for listening.